Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for logging on to CBSColorado.com and CBS News Colorado. It is time for a few more minutes with our Xfinity Monday Live guest, former Broncos receiver Brandon Stokley. Nice enough to join us tonight. Stoke, obviously the big news, the Broncos fire Nathaniel Hackett. I think that this was going to happen one way or another. Why did the Broncos and that new ownership group decide to make the move now?
It's a message sent to Broncos country. It's a message sent to everyone that this isn't good enough. And I think they were very fair with Nathaniel Hackett throughout this whole process and gave him a lot of time to try to figure things out. And the previous 2 weeks, look, you played a competitive game against Kansas City, you beat Arizona, and so they were going to give him the rest of the year, and then he was going to get fired. But when you get embarrassed like that, you have no other choice. So I think they're just setting a precedent to sending the message to Broncos country that, hey, the standard is winning.
You're a former player. What message does it send to those guys in the locker room? You only have 2 games left. You're not going to make the playoffs. But what message does that send?
That, hey, it's all about winning. It's all about winning, and that's the standard. That was the standard under Pat Bowlen, and that's the standard under Greg Penner and this ownership group.
There is a lot that needs to happen for this team. Do you think that George Paton can be the guy to get it done? Because right now he's had some really big swings and misses. Obviously, everybody knows about the head coach. They know about the Russell Wilson deal. I think you could throw Randy Gregory's contract into that. I think you could question maybe Cortland Sutton and Tim Patrick and their decisions. Yes. I think you could question some of the draft picks now, right? Like, there's a lot that I think is on George Paton's plate that looked really good a couple months ago before the season started.
Yeah, and so all very fair questions to look at when you're looking at what he's done and what he's brought in through the draft and free agency. A lot of strikes, not a lot of hits. And, you know, I think Greg Penner, we'll see. Right now it looks like George Paton's safe, but I don't know. I'm not sold on that right now because not only the trade for Russell, but then signing him to that big contract. Is this a guy, if you're Greg Penner and company, that you can trust to handle everything in the offseason? Or would you rather just start with a blank slate and have a new general manager with a new head coach? It's going to be very interesting.
And I know everybody talks about the amount of money that the Walton Penner Group has, but you don't get that type of money by allowing other people to spend your money poorly. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like, you don't become rich by having other people lose money for you, which is what's happening right now. Russell Wilson, can he be fixed? Because I think everybody would agree that what we're seeing right now is a broken version of Russell Wilson. Certainly not the guy that Broncos country thought he was going to be.
I hope he can. I think he can. I'm optimistic that he can. You're going to have to find the right coach, though. And hopefully Russ humbles himself and realizes that, you know what, I'm not a pocket quarterback. That's not who I am. I'm not a throw-first quarterback. Let me lean on the run. Let me embrace running the football like they did in Seattle when he was at his best. And so it's going to take a coach to get in here and fix some of his mechanics. His mechanics are awful, and kind of tell Russ what's going to happen. Yeah. Russ, you don't have a say in how this offense is going to run. This is how we're going to do it.
You need a coach who's going to be the adult in the room,
yes,
so to speak. And so I think that's what the Broncos should be looking for. Do you have a hot list of guys that you like to replace Nathaniel Hackett?
I got a few that I like. I mean, Sean Payton's on everyone's number one list. I don't think he's going to want to come to this mess. You look at Dan Quinn. That's who I wanted last year. Dan Quinn, would he want to come to this? He's going to be another hot candidate. The Broncos turned him down last year, told him, no, thank you, Dan Quinn. So now all of a sudden they're going to hire you? I don't think that's going to work out. For me, I look at a guy like Jim Harbaugh. He's been successful everywhere he's been, in college, in the NFL. You look at his quarterbacks in San Francisco, Alex Smith, Colin Kaepernick. I mean, some of the best years of their football was with Jim Harbaugh. So he's a guy that has been really good with quarterbacks, done a great job as a head coach. He's a leader of men. All of those things, he checks all those boxes. So I think he would be a great hire. Now, I don't know if he wants to, leave Michigan or not. But it seems like he always has an itch to get back in the NFL. So open that checkbook up. I'll spend the money for him. Write that big check, and I think you could get it done.
Here's the thing about being a head coach in the NFL. There's only 32 of them. Only 32 jobs as head coach of the NFL. That is very, very enticing. Stoke, I love having you on the show, man. Thank you so much for hanging out. Love listening to you. You can hear him every day, 104.3 The Fan, 11-2. Got to put up with Zach Bye, but you do a great job of that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
appreciate
it. Hey, that's going to do it for us. Thank you for logging on to CBSColorado.com and CBS News Colorado.